In this video, I'd like to talk about Sanjeev, who moved from India to the US along with his family for his son's higher education. Sanjeev's son got admission in a prestigious US university after his 12th grade. Since the family was not very comfortable sending him alone, they decided to move to the US together. Sanjeev had never lived outside India, and therefore this seemed like a big move. He had a job offer from a multinational company in the US. He was excited, but there were too many questions and too little information. He did not know where to begin and what questions to ask. So he started by understanding his financial profile in India. Before moving, Sanjeev had a house property in India. He had retirement savings and he had bank and brokerage accounts with Indian banks. Sanjeev was not sure what his long-term plans were. He wasn't sure if he would like to retire in the US or just move back to India once his son settles down. Also, he had a very limited understanding of the US. Terms such as W-2, 401k, IRA seemed very daunting. His US employer was asking him too many questions, which he did not know. Should he even invest in the US retirement plan, not knowing his own long-term plans? If he were to move back to India, how would his US tax obligations continue? How would his India income be taxed in the US? Since he did not have any of these answers, he was not able to decide whether to rent or sell his India property. What should he do with his Indian savings investments? His investments in shares and mutual funds, should he just leave them in or should he sell them before moving? So here is how we approached Sanjeev's case. Here, we started by building the foundation. In the first session, we spoke about educating Sanjeev about the US tax system in general, understanding terms such as W-2, 1099, 401k. We explained how his US income would be taxed in India and how his India income would be taxed in the US. We then focused on cross-border taxation. We covered terms such as foreign tax credit, avoiding double taxation, etc. Once the fundamentals were clear, Sanjeev was now able to understand the taxability of each head of income. So for example, how would his US salary be taxed in the US and in India? How would his India rental property income be taxed in India and in the US? How can he take foreign tax credit? So we did this for each head of income. Once the income part was clear, Sanjeev wanted to discuss his investments. By now, Sanjeev already had basic knowledge and he was well equipped to understand his investment plans. Is he better off leaving his India property and mutual funds or should he just sell them before moving to the US? We were able to discuss all his options in detail. And then we were able to come up with a better plan that suited his requirements. We also spoke about going forward, what are the types of assets that he can buy. We also took into consideration his long-term plans about settling down. After discussing taxation and investments came the last but an equally important component, which is compliance requirements. Here, I prepared a compliance checklist for different FEMA and banking compliances. The types of bank accounts that Sanjeev needed to have in India, the rules for remittance of funds for both countries. An equally critical part of compliance is your foreign asset reporting. Both US and India require you to report your foreign assets depending on your residential status and your account balances. We spoke about what are Sanjeev's specific reporting obligations and the different FBAR and FATCA forms that he was required to file. So this was the entire assignment for Sanjeev. At the end of this engagement, here is what Sanjeev received from us: a comprehensive summary of all our discussions with him with the pros and cons of each decision, a clear action checklist for implementation. Our goal was not to make Sanjeev a tax expert, but before moving to the US, we empowered Sanjeev enough to understand the tax implications of every major decision, make him confident about managing his cross border finances, and make informed investment decisions. That's all from my side about this case study. If you found it interesting, do check out more such case studies on our YouTube channel and visit our website at shilpakhire.com. Thanks for watching.